sure if the thumbnail's too dark, but anyway, here we are. Alright, so Lionsgate, across the 8th dimension. I wasn't going to do a Lionsgate thing, but if it can, you never know, might help others or in their awakening process. So, see how my channel is buried. Does it even exist? It's on YouTube, but you would never know that. Yeah, talk about in the shadows. The weird part of YouTube. To tap into the Lionsgate, there's some. That's part of our, the feline energies assisting us, of course, in this human dwelling to remember ourselves on a higher level, you can say. Obviously, many are going through their darkness here, and nothing wrong with that. Well, this gets kind of out of hand after a while, but of course, you have the NPC energy that can be healed here. Well, of course, it's a soul process there, but you graduate from the NPC to more of a diverse and complex being, at least on an astral level, on a non-physical level. I don't want to call it complex because it's almost like a human term there. Of course, where is the world heading? No one really knows. Whatever happens, we'll survive. So if you need to survive, feels like a end of the year purge of some kind. It's not clear what that might mean. Gaza's not looking so great. That's. Of course, there's a lot of reptilian energies there. I just want to, a lot of slave mentality there, of course, and just that's. Either way, do what you can to raise your frequency there. It's a tough. Well, that's like Gaza. It feels like, it comes from other, karma from other worlds too, like a war from other planets. You go from one world to the other. Just using that for example, like Sirius, Orion, suppression on the people. Because it's all about the land, right? It's about just something about the land that obviously that they want. It's holy land, right? Someone to rewrite history. That's, I don't know the whole story, but I know about Palestine, the connections to the Bible. I know about that, but Gaza, I'm not that familiar with. So just, possibly to block the sacred sites back then. But I'm not really sure about Gaza though. But either way, it's still a land grab. It does feel very Orion-like. Because it also suppresses timelines here. Well, so they can control a certain timeline. So I know it sounds strange with Gaza, because Gaza is such a little. It's a big deal because of the suffering. But it's such a small place. But it feels like it. Why they suppress certain places is because of timeline manipulation. Why they can start a war, all kinds of keep the vibrations low. It does interfere with the main timeline, let's put it that way. Not to put victim energy out there or anything like that. And there's, obviously it's not always the reptilians. They're involved with it, but it doesn't mean it's always, they can be taken advantage too. So they can go through their own not calling, well, yeah, go through their own victim thing, let's put it that way. Where their DNA can be manipulated, misused by like Anunnaki beings and so on. So yeah, definitely Anunnaki, or well, they take the reptilian and they can, come off as the nice guy when they aren't, and so on. Yeah, the Anunnaki, I don't know if I mentioned that here, but yeah, trying to put you know, for a smooth criminal, basically, to clear out the rough exterior of the reptilian to make it more attractive, but also where it's more deceiving. You know, at least that's one aspect. Doesn't mean that Anunnaki are all bad. I'm just saying that, they can put beauty in hiding darkness, the outer layer, just have these beautiful people manipulating the crap out of everybody. That's a lot of that's Anunnaki. That's what I've been getting recently. And, yeah. Even like Gaza grabbing the power there. Power the people and just grabbing their frequency and just weaponizing it. It's just controversial energy there, but either way. So Lionsgate, yeah, just so also like the feline is, yeah, like I said, it's not just our darkness, but the alien groups that are here, they have their own darkness too, and then the feline darkness is here, of course, and not perfect. It can be exploited also. Like the canine can be controlled. Cats can't be, which is a good thing. Not perfect, but they're extremely independent, which is a good thing. But the dogs can be, they're made into servants. I mean, it's good. I mean, you train them, they can be obedient, but still, it doesn't exactly have the best vibes around it when you think about it. But it shows what humanity is going through, because humanity is treated, made obedient, going by what they're told, being brainwashed and everything. Has a lot of, that's where all the Syrian energy goes, like Sirius was like, you just use our terms, MK Ultra, just a lot of mind control that happened in Syrian worlds, and even developing humanoid beings to be controlled, just like a dog. You take a dog and you breed it a certain way. It's supposed to, like an attack dog or whatever you have a dog, but you have the humans doing that, so bred a certain way to be under some kind of control. That's why you have the NPC stuff and so on. So that's why Sirius plays such a big role here. That's why the Orions are, I believe, a big part of that. So when you're breaking free from all of that, it's a lot to break free of. It's just so many different layers. But also it's the experience of it, being under hypnosis. And, you live all of it. It's all knowledge. It might be crappy knowledge, but it's knowledge. Well, it's also, so when you leave this world, hopefully we're not to be mind controlled again. But we have to go through a certain version of mind control here too. We're learning from it. Not to be a victim about it, but to work around it, break it, understand, analyze it, study it. It's the same thing. But either way, it's, that's why people get married for all the wrong reasons. It's kind of like the same thing with mind control, same thing. Of course, some people are born and they just disconnect from it, or you have some disconnection there. But it doesn't mean you didn't have other lifetimes where you're deep into it. Well, I would say it's necessary for soul growth. Like religion, you're big on a religion. Now, obviously, there's alien religions, or yeah, it just shows how. I mean, yeah, the SSP mind control that's going on currently with the audience. Some witch that's messing with everyone. There's plenty of witches out there. So it just shows you the psychosis has not ended yet. It's not easy to break out of it, some might think. But once again, it's knowledge. It's just, is it good knowledge or, well, it's an experience. But it's still knowledge. I mean, you still get something out of it, even if you're under hypnosis or a fucking way. But we have to go through some kind of, well, maybe not call it mind control, like an agreement to be at a certain level of thinking. Like, not that you can't think for yourself, but to be part of the human, you have to have, you know, the human theme, so you can live among others, not necessarily be under the mind control, but be living within the system to some level. That is probably a better word for it, but have the human experience. You have to have some kind of leeway or whatever you want to call it. Before all the alien stuff shows up, when people look more like cat people and people look more like insectoid people, and I mean you have that, but through a human form. But you can say the human will eventually evolve into where more people are, mutated, which is their energy. So I mean, you already see it now, but it's more humanoid. Like some people look like cat people, but when you really look like a cat, I mean, some people do, but really look like a cat or a dog and so on. So the Elephant Man, that one might be a rough one. Yeah. But it's already here, you just don't. Yeah, that's a rough. That'll happen at some point. It has to be a different place by then. Yeah, well, at least say through our lifetimes here, you know, whether it be some kind of alien disclosure or something, possibly. Of course, people have been saying that for years. You like to think so, but who knows? We're here for something, but it doesn't mean it has to be on the timeline that we think it should be on. Anyway, cybertime.com, our sessions. Schedule outside of the shop. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see as people evolve from the new age groups to be more, I don't know, independent. So anyway, so I guess what's happened to the Lionsgate, just to one of those, the Eighth Dimension version. The Eighth Dimension comes from that movie, I forget the name of. I forget the name of it, but it comes from a movie. It's not a name I usually happen to. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, it comes from a movie title. Now I'm curious. Peter Weller is in it. Cannot think of the name of it. It doesn't matter. It's like a B movie. It is an alien movie. I think they have like that Men in Black in it too. Some kind of weird, bizarre version of it. So it's like a cheesy. Anyway, all right. So we can't connect to the Lionsgates. So it'll be the feline energies in the eighth dimension, and see what they have to say about our road trip here. So, greetings, the consciousness of the felines, not necessarily the eighth, or of your Lionsgates. We would just learn felines from the eighth dimension frequencies. Basically, it's one of your identity on a higher level, or just a fifth dimensional level. But your physical realm is necessary for so many. It is like a gold mine. There is much you can find. It's like it's like swimming to the bottom of the ocean, you could say. And but you find treasures. You find experiences that you cannot find anywhere else. And we're not talking about going to the park. Think of like it's emotional experiences, even internal hell. Like you can truly tap into, as some of you are going through depression, like you truly go into the hell realms internally. Doesn't mean you have to die to go into that, but you feel it. And is this a hell reality? In some ways it is, but it doesn't have to be. It can be transformed, it can be heaven or hell, basically. But and you can get to your lighter side, which is great because you heal it, but you also can go the other way and go different ways. So that's part of also the emotional roller coaster. And this perspective is rare. Not that you go, not many of your fly. I mean, some of you can connect astrally and feel the emotional frequency is so intense here. Even in the astral realms can be intense also because they're connected to you. And so it is like a merry-go-round. It can feel like you're going nowhere, but you are going somewhere though. But even then, like your kaleidoscope, you can change colors and your frequency. You might feel like you're going in a circle doing the daily routine also, but your frequency changes. So we're just giving you a perspective of it. But it is a deeper meaning about life. You know, it's really what you want to bring out of it, but also, of course, while you're here, just to get through it. Of course, there's more to it than that, but do it. You know, do what comes. You don't have to just travel the world. You don't have to just get in. I mean, sometimes when you're traveling the world, you know, you might be seeing things on the external, but internally, you're bearing a great deal. You know, I'd be surprised how many are running away. It's like, I don't want to deal with my shit. I'm going to just go here, there. Oh, I'm going to bounce all over the world, universe. Well, the earth universe. And run away from myself. You'd be surprised. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why many of you are not doing that is you're going into your internal self that is just not pleasant, but you're also clearing out the energies of others, and others, some of you notice, plant their frequency in yours sometimes, and he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, you're not welcomed here, and you find a way out. I mean, so you're getting something out of all that also. Yes, when you go through internal hell, you're getting a lot out of that, because it's like, it might be the house of horrors. I mean, you might feel a victim energy or not. Either way, it's like, but it's once again, knowledge is gold. Now, obviously, on a physical level, it doesn't make a whole. You can't always decipher it all. So, what the hell did I go through that for? Why do people go through marriages and then go through the divorce? Of course, they had love and other realities, and this one did not work. And sometimes they're attracted to the wrong people. Yes, of course, there's narcissism involved with that in some cases, and so on. Some are tapping into for them, they feel like it's the right information, and maybe for the time. Well, some of them don't want to hear the truth of themselves, or they want to. Why so many get pulled into these spiritual groups that are deceiving is because I want to get as far away from myself as possible. So they feel like they are on a spiritual path, and technically they are, but they're not. They're like the window within themselves. They're just not ready to see it. So they get they're distracted. Distractions are heavy. Oh, I learned about these SSP groups and all this other stuff that does not matter. But then eventually you come back to you, of course. It's like, well, I'm not going to be there that long. I'm going to go and tap into something else and get away from that. So not everyone's ready to just make inner peace. Sometimes it's better to be a tourist here. At some point, you might come and do internal healing. you do as what works for you the best. And some of you are, yes, cutting major cords with individuals that no longer serve you. Like they were good in other lifetimes, maybe, but no longer serve your purpose. And cutting them out might not always be the easiest because sometimes they kind of want to leech on, but eventually that attachment breaks off. And some of this archon connect. Well, some of you are understand the archon knowledge from their perspective, and yes, souls can deteriorate. Not necessarily yours, but you can feel that others are feeling getting worse, and that's up to the individual, and that's a scientific discovery all on its own. Degrading that way, soul wise, to let one just truly just drift off so easily. We have potential, and just let it all go. So it's like a leaf that's falling apart. It's like, why do certain things just deteriorate? Well, a soul can do the same thing. It'll still be there, but it kind of becomes a skeleton of itself. It could be much more, but it just kind of rots out. And it's up to them to repair that either way. It's not your job for that, but to remove attachments and all that is very necessary for this. Yeah, there's beings that want to latch on and just block you, and it doesn't mean it's going to work for very long. They're going to try, at least attempt to do so, but in that case, you're warning from it. And yes, many are not really ones. And the reason why some of you have issues connecting to new people, well, some of them don't want, they don't want to heal. They want to, yes, chase their tail and not discover another side of themselves. Because I think of it yourself, it's kind of weird saying, but it's kind of like a ticket into another realm, a door to another place. You have this earth world, yes, but also you have many other places you go to, and not everyone's up for that. And you might have some delusion connected there. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're still going to a realm that's very unearthly. And not everybody's up for that. Yes, some are still going through their inner torture, yes. They haven't quite been able to let go of that. And they can go lifetime like that, lifetime to lifetime of just feeling sorry for themselves. So be it. And some of you are feeling that. Frequency doesn't mean you have to make that your career, as they say. But once again, it's the emotional journey. The knowledge of that is very rare. Because as you know, some of these alien beings are at peace with themselves. Of course, not all, but some. But they don't have all this emotional baggage. So coming here and learning from that is quite unique. It has many layers to it that you don't need to go into here. So,